going on, Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And once again, I'm joined by head coach of CUC women's soccer, Coach Eddie Garza. Welcome back to the show. Excited to talk to you today.
Always happy to be here.
Well, Coach, since the last time we talked, you guys have played in 2 games, and first was a 2-0 loss at MSOE on Saturday. And all season long, this defense has been really, really strong. You've gotten good play out of your defenders as well as your goaltenders, whether it be Alani Burnell or Brooke Sheriff. But the offense has kind of struggled at some points, just being able to consistently put goals up on the board. So as we hit this home stretch of the season, you guys only have 3 games left on the year, which is kind of hard to believe. What's kind of be the key to getting that offense in high gear and winning these much-needed games at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think the first thing is reflecting on the actual performance, kind of like what I spoke about last week. Mm-hmm. If you look at the game, we had opportunities.
Right.
We got to see the reflection process, like seeing how we got those opportunities and continuing to do those things so that we get more. So that's that was the topic today at training. That'll be the topic tomorrow. It's like, how are we creating those chances and how can we increase the quantity so that we can, help ourselves create those opportunities to score those goals, right? When we do that, looking at yesterday's game, we hit the crossbar, the post a few times. We had some good corner kicks and deliveries, and those are just missed opportunities, but that's part of the soccer. You're not going to score every opportunity. So the goal is the persistence and the desire to continuing to try to find more ways. Right,
and like you said, we saw that yesterday against Benedictine. They led 1-0 for most of the game, and then with less than 20 seconds, Juliana Paulson played hero, as she has before this season, scored that last-second goal to secure a tie. And we've talked about that before, as well as when your team's down by 1 in the last couple minutes, when you're needing that goal to get a tie or get a win, what's it going to take to be able to do that? And we saw that kind of pay off yesterday with Juliana Paulson's goal. And so can you just kind of talk about just how much that team fought through yesterday? I mean, again, they were down most of the game, but they kept preserving, they kept getting their chances, and then finally Juliana was able to finish one at the end of the game.
Yeah, I think the first half we came out a little flat, and we just, weren't in a good rhythm, where that's why Dominican took the lead. And then they kind of controlled the first half. And if you look at the stats, the second half, we had 1 shot in the first half, and then in the second half we had 8.
Right.
Which, when you look at the overall, we balanced it out. So Benue was consistent with what they were producing, but you saw, if we would have had a better first half, So to answer your question, I think what we did in the second half is, again, having a little bit more grit, having a little bit more desire and fight.
Right.
We shouldn't be going down 1-0 to have that. So it's that's, trying to light the fire before the actual, getting scored on.
Right. The mentality of playing from behind without actually being behind.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Denise Carr last week, and it's not just her from this freshman class who's had a really major impact. Yesterday we saw, Izzy Fairless, Addison Alexander got some key minutes, as did Luciana Moraine Cruz. And as head coach, that takes a lot of confidence in your young players to tell them in their first year, go out there and play minutes in a big conference game, a conference game that you're also trailing. So you just kind of talk about just how big this freshman class has been this year and being able to eat up minutes, and not only that, but contribute as well.
Yeah, so it is a very talented freshman class all around, and some of them haven't seen the field, but that doesn't mean they're not talented.
Right.
Right now they're in a discovery developmental phase, so figuring out where they fit, figuring out the style of my coaching, the tactics, and obviously the conference and obviously the opposition. But I think they all have very bright futures, and I think with this experience that they've had in this first year, I think it's really going to help build and push the program forward because, as you mentioned, they're very, very talented. And, as we fine-tune some of the things, I think that's really going to project the program in the direction we want to go.
Right. And then coming up on Saturday is a big one, the rival Concordia, Wisconsin, coming to River Forest. It's also going to be senior day. You guys have a big senior class of 9 this year, so they'll all get honored as well. But just how do you carry the momentum on now? You got the tie against Benedictine, you snapped a losing streak. So how do you move on from Benedictine to Concordia, Wisconsin, and then the other 2 games this season, trying to build off that tie and end the season on a good note? What needs to happen to keep that momentum flowing?
Yeah, so we did change the narrative. So a tie was a good step in the right direction. I think some of the losses we could have seen a better result. But going against Concordia, it's our senior night.
Right.
That should give us motivations. It's our second to last home game. So protecting our home turf is a big proponent to that. And then finally, we still have a lot to play for. The NAC has just been up and down with the results. Mathematically, it's still in our control, which is what you want, right? So those are the 3 things that we're really focusing on, so that we can carry that momentum that we've built and want to finish out strong. Again, we've started to play our best soccer at the end of the season. If you're looking at results, you would say we're not being successful, but the team and myself have been consistently evaluating performances and really seeing. And I think finally we're playing a conference rival, so a Concordia rival. So I think we'll put a good showing and get the result that we're looking for.
Definitely. Well, that game against CUW is this Saturday. That is a 1 p.m. start time for the women's squad. It's also senior day, so if you're able, please come out and support all the girls who put in a ton of time and effort into this program. Coverage for it, if you can't be here, it will be on our website, cucougars.com, and the live stream on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. Coach Garza, thanks again for joining me today, and good luck this weekend and moving forward in the end of the season. I'm looking forward to talking to you again next week. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go Cougars!
Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
What's going on, Cougar fans, and welcome to River Forest, Illinois Concordia Stadium for today's conference matchup between the visiting Eagles of Edgewood College and the Cougars of Concordia University Chicago. I'm Parker Kelly with the Cougar Sports Network bringing you today's broadcast. Real quick, let's go over the starting lineups first for the Eagles of Edgewood College. They are coached in his fifth season by Derek Helmer. The Eagles come into today with a record of 8-6-3 overall, a 5-5 conference record, which is good enough for seventh in the NAC. And now for the starting lineups for the Cougars. The Cougars are coached by Eddie Garza. He is in his second season with the Cougars. The Cougars come into today with a record of 4-10-2 overall and a 4-6-1 conference record. CUC currently sitting at 10th in the NAC. Should be a good one today as we are getting close to the end of the regular season. Only two more games left for the Cougars. Their game against Alverno College on Saturday was canceled due to a forfeit by Alverno, so that counts as a 1-0 victory for the Cougars. So they have the game today and then the game next Wednesday at Dominican University, and that's it for the regular season. And they have a good opponent coming into River Forest today in the Eagles, as both teams are huddled up on the pitch getting ready for the opening kickoff. It's a beautiful day here in River Forest, mid-60s. Just not a lot of clouds in the sky. Beautiful sunny day. Perfect day for some soccer. Edgewood College in their all-black away kits with white numbering. The Cougars in their home all-whites with maroon lettering and numbering. As both teams in formation, Edgewood College will conduct the opening kickoff. Both teams getting set, on-field officials making sure everything is ready to go. And we're underway as the opening kickoff was conducted by Cami Licky of Edgewood College. Edgewood working in the midfield. Edgewood is pretty solid offensive team as they come into today ranked 4th in the NAC in total goals scored, 5th in the NAC in shots. Pretty dangerous offensive team, but they're facing a Cougars team who has been very stout on defense, starting to find their rhythm here late in the season. It should be an interesting matchup, as we're going to get an early corner kick for the Eagles. We've seen the Cougars defense has been pretty good at not allowing their opponents to get scoring opportunities off of these corner kicks. We'll see what happens right here. That takes a bounce off of Lucia Falone and then just cleared out by Juliana Paulson. The Eagles still working in that final third. That takes a bounce off of the crossbar, but Alani Burnell is going to get her first touch of the afternoon. The goalkeeper for the Cougars in her sophomore season. The goal kick by Burnell is kicked deep. I believe that was touched by freshman number 4, Addison Alexander. And it goes right back to Burnell. So the Cougars going to get another crack at it on offense. Burnell sends that one looking for Paulson, but goes out of bounds. So possession is going to go right back to the Eagles. Chasing it down on the far side is Valeria Fernandez. Is going to get it right back to Burnell. Burnell's going to station on the left side of the goal for this goal kick. She approaches, sends that one. It's off the foot of Grace Gladowski. Now Lucia Falone trying to make something happen. She gets it over to Valeria Fernandez. Fernandez finds Paulson on the far side. Brown able to get a touch, but right back to Edgewood. Now Denise Carr trying to track it down for CUC. She trips up an Eagle while she's at it. Trying to get that one to Luciana Moran Cruz, but good defense by the Eagles. Now we're going to get a throw in from Stephanie Keischer. Eagles working with it. That's in possession of Marley Satrin. Good backline defense by the Cougars as that was last touched by Melika Kenworthy. Cleared out of bounds. We'll get another throw in from Keischer, number 22 in all black. Good play from Lucia Falone. Now trying to track it down is Moran Cruz. She tries to get past a couple Eagle defenders, but she steps out of bounds. So Edgewood going to go right back on offense after the throw in from Keischer. That's touched by Falone. That one deflected off her knees. Took a pretty hard hit. She gets that to Alexander, who's tripped up by Maddie Johnson, number 21 for Edgewood. Now clear it out, Grace Johnson. Good takeaway from Brown, who gets past the defender. Lots of green grass in front of her, trying to get it to Moran Cruz, who's trekking down the far side. Loses it for a split second. That's taken away by Edgewood. Now Paulson trying to get back in there. She's fighting for it. Pushed down by Edgewood. Looks like that might have been a foul. Ref's not going to call anything. Now Kenworthy kicks it to Brown. Now back to Fernandez, who's dribbling down the far sideline. Fernandez, it's about 4 Eagles surrounding her, not able to do much. That's taken away by Brown, who's been one of the steady players for the Cougars really in her tenure here. She's a senior, been a 3-year captain. Really looked at as one of the leaders of this team. It's a very senior-heavy team, very experienced team, as we've talked about on several of the broadcasts. Several seniors sprinkled throughout the roster. Now Edgewood. That's going to be cleared out by Kenworthy, who just sends it over to the Edgewood bench. Nice play defensively. Now Edgewood back on offense, trying to get into that coveted final third. but just sent out of bounds. Looks like that might have been off the foot of Fernandez. The Eagles now in the final third. Nice defense once again from Brown, who gets it to Moran Cruz. Now last touch by Paulson, who just clears it out for the Cougars, forcing Edgewood to play from behind. And now Burnell's just going to clear it out. We mentioned how good Burnell has been for the Cougars this season. As a team, the Cougars coming today ranked second in the NAC in saves with 137 total saves this season. 75 of those saves have come in the first half. Big part due to Alani Burnell herself. Ranks first in the NAC in saves with 108th, ranked 7th in the NAC in goals against average with 1.71. So, been a steady foundation for the Cougars in goal. Now a throw in from Edgewood, as that's in to Leah Doset. That's taken away. Now in possession of Zoe Winter. Gets it back to Keisher. And now Denise Carr is able to take it away. Running down the sideline. Lots of green grass ahead of her. Just that pass way out of reach of Moran Cruz. And we're going to get a touch by Haley Hartel, the goalie for Edgewood. Her first touch of the afternoon. Falone misses the header, but it's tracked back to Kenworthy. And now Falone trying to get the takeaway, but it's handled by Marley Satrin. Now Denise Carr working against Keisher. Brown finds Gladowski, who's sprinting down the near sideline. Good defensive play by Grace Johnson. Now Gladowski has to get rid of it, trying to get it to Brown. That's back to Moran Cruz, who just sends that one up into the air. Paulson not able to get it in her possession as she is draped behind two Eagles players. Now the Eagles, a little bit of momentum. That's taken away by Gladowski. Cougars defense has been stout here early, not allowing much to get past them, not allowing the Eagles to get into that final third. Eagles, that's Reese Mazaris. Good play by that back line. That one's just sent and out of bounds by Edgewood. And it looks like I have a couple players for Edgewood switch sides of the field, as number 19, Marha Paharda, switching with Stephanie Keisher. That one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Cammie Licky. So we're going to get a throw in from Gladowski. That's into Denise Carr. Just sends that one straight up into the air. Now we'll get a throw in from Edgewood and Paharda. Nice job of Kenworthy just getting it out of bounds. Looks like we may be getting another corner kick from the Eagles, so this will be the second corner kick here in the first 11 minutes of play for the Eagles. So a couple early opportunities. That one is sent. Nice job of the Cougars defense once again squandering that opportunity of the Eagles. Alani Burnell going to come out of goal. Lucia Falone backing up, misses the header, but she's fighting for it. Whistle's blown. Looks like possession is going to go to the Cougars as Kenworthy is going to conduct the free kick. Kenworthy, a line drive looking for Alexander Brown, able to come up with it. She gets it back to Valeria Fernandez, who finds Paulson on the far sideline. Paulson, one of the speedier players, as she takes a tumble with Kaisher. Possession will remain with the Cougars. So we're going to get a free kick once again from Kenworthy, who sends that into a cluster of players. Fernandez able to come out with it, gets it back to Kenworthy. Brown not able to do much with it. Just a crowded area on that side of the pitch. That's back to Kenworthy. And once again, trying to get it to Paulson. You know, if Paulson's able to get the ball in her possession, she's dangerous. Paulson leading the team in goals scored with 4, also leading the team in points with 8. Has a shot percentage of .364 and a shot on goal percentage of .909. Both of which are also first on the team, so very solid offensive player, the senior out of Villa Park, Illinois. Now that's back to Bowers, who gets one of her first touches of the afternoon, but just sends that one to the Cougar sideline. We'll get a throw in from Edgewood College right here. That throw in to Maddie Johnson. Player tripped up by Lucia Falone of the Cougars. Whistles blow. Looks like we'll get a free kick from the Eagles. I believe that's the first foul of the afternoon on the Cougars as well. Now, Burnell going to conduct yet another goal kick. That one is to Gladowski, now to Carr. Carr trying to get it to Moran Cruz. That deflects off of her back. Now Brown working in the midfield. Tries to get it to a streaking Fernandez. Fernandez showing off the speed. Tries to get it back to Moran Cruz, but intercepted by Edgewood. And now just a very physical matchup so far as Moran Cruz knocks over a couple of Eagles. Offense. Cougars are going to still remain on offense. This looks like we're going to get a PK from Kenworthy. Kenworthy raises her hand in the air, approaches the ball. That shot way over the goal. Looks like it might have went through the uprights. So missed opportunity for the Cougars. Edgewood going to go back on offense after the goal kick from Hartel. Now out of bounds. That possession doesn't last very long as we get the throw in from Gladowski, trying to get it into Falone. Now that's back to Brown. Sends it right back to Falone. A little back and forth action from the Cougars on offense. It's going to go out of bounds. Last touched by Edgewood. Believe that was Zoe Winter who last touched the ball. So we're going to get the first corner kick of the afternoon for the Cougars. Melika Kenworthy. She conducts the free kicks and the corner kicks. Header from Paulson. Now Moran Cruz with it. She sends it right back to, looks like, Alexander. And now the Eagles forcing the Cougars to play out from deep as Gladowski trying to get it to Denise Carr. Now Brown. Denise Carr with it again, trying to work against Pajarda. And now Paulson. Hard fall from Maddie Johnson of Edgewood. She did a somersault after that last touch from Paulson. So a free kick will be awarded to the Eagles. And that's in. The Eagles playing in the midfield. Now Kenworthy trying to track it down, just not able to get to it in time before it bounces onto the track. Haven't seen any substitutions from either side yet today. We know Coach Eddie Garza of the Cougars, big fan of making substitution. He likes to utilize the depth that he has on his team. We've yet to see a substitution made by him up to this point, so he's sticking with the starters, showing confidence in the group he has put out onto the field today. Looks like we're going to get a throw in from Edgewood. And that's in, but going to be kicked by Bowers. Trying to get it to Paulson. Edgewood. In that final third, that shot saved by Burnell went right into her hands, not having to move much for that save. Going to be her first save of the afternoon. Header from Kenworthy. Now Kenworthy just sending it deep. Going to be touched by Grace Johnson. Now that's over to Valeria Fernandez, who's trying to get in and out of a couple Eagle defenders. So now Edgewood, I believe, is going to stay on offense. No, excuse me, the Cougars are going to be on offense after the throw-in from Fernandez. Tries to get it into Paulson, trying to get her a couple early touches. You're going to go out of bounds, throw-in from the Eagles. That throw-in in. Header from Falone goes over to the Eagles' side of the bench. So Edgewood going to keep possession. Ball in play. Trying to take it away are the Cougars. Now Carr tries to get it to Glodowski. That pass behind her. Glodowski trying to track it down. Rolls onto the track. So now Edgewood, excellent field position. Good defense from Glodowski. Edgewood. And now Falone trying to get a takeaway. Nice defense right there as Brown just sends that one, trying to keep the Eagles outside of the final third. Cougars have done a good job of keeping them out of that territory. Denise Carr takes a fall, so whistles are going to be blown. I believe that'll be a foul on Edgewood. So a free kick from Kenworthy. Closest Cougar in the vicinity was Allie Brown, but not able to get it to her. Last touch by the Eagles as it went out of bounds. So the throw in from Glodowski goes to Carr. Not able to get a handle on it, so we're going to get another throw in from Glodowski. She aims that one towards Brown. Now into Falone. Glodowski tries to send a crossfield shot pass to Alexander, but Moran Cruz going to come up with it. Now back to Falone. Gets it over to Carr. So the throw in from Glodowski. That's into Falone. Glodowski just trying to analyze her options. A header from Edgewood goes out of bounds. So Cougars are going to stay on this side of the field as Brown, I believe, trying to get that pass off to Denise Carr, just off target. So we're going to get a goal kick from Hartel. Hartel, that pass is intercepted by Denise Carr, and her, Allie Brown, and I believe Maddie Johnson all going to fall down. Whistles blow. So the Cougars are going to get possession right back as they try to get something going on offense. Not a lot of offense so far as we're looking at the box score. Only 2 shots from Edgewood. One of those shots has been on goal. And only 1 solo shot for the Cougars off target. So Cougars trying to generate something on offense to get that early lead. As Kenworthy's pass just over the head of her teammates. We're all in a cluster. So another goal kick from Haley Hartel, freshman goalkeeper. That one is off the leg of Brown. Paulson trying to track it down. That's over to Fernandez. Good defense right there from Kami Licky. And now Alexander. Falone knocks over an Eagle, but gets the pass off to Fernandez, who tries to find Paulson. See, Brown's playing tough defense on the Eagles. And now Falone. Last touched by the Eagles was number 19, Pajarda. Now Moran Cruz trying to get it back. It goes off of her right foot and out of bounds. Licky was on the offensive end. So we're going to get a throw in from Pajarda. That's into Licky. Now back to Blow. Alexander sends that one back to Hannah Bowers, who just sends it out of bounds. Now Moran Cruz gets it to Falone, forcing the Eagles to play a little bit of catch-up. Now Fernandez gets it on over to Gladowski, gets it to Carr. Harda playing tough defense on her. That's been a matchup to look out for here in the first half. Brown gets it over to Gladowski. More tough defense as Kalsher comes over. And now Alexander, the shot, almost dropping it was Hartel. That shot had a chance. If Hartel would have dropped it, almost squeaked out of her possession, but she comes up with her first save of the afternoon. So that was the second shot from the Cougars on target, so the first shot on goal. Now Alexander playing defense on Blau. Get a couple whistles, and now we're going to see the first substitutions of the day. And it looks like for the Cougars, number 9, Pamela Saldivar. Number 7, Jamie Siebert. And number 11, Itzel Calderon, all making their first appearance of the match for the Cougars. So 3 substitutions made by Coach Garza. And we're going to get a couple of substitutions for Edgewood, as Kayla Kirkman coming in for Reese Mazaros and Tierney Herman coming in for Stephanie Kalsher. So first substitutions we've seen here in the first half as Calderon sends that one up into the air, trying to get it to Carr. So now Calderon trying to play tough defense on Satrin. Denise Carr pauses for a moment. Tough defense by the Eagles as the Cougars haven't been able to get too many passes off. We're going to get another touch from Hartel. She boots that one deep and high into the air. Kenworthy. She's tripped up by an Edgewood defender. Header from Kenworthy. Back in possession of the Eagles as Licky getting the pass off to Blau. Now Kirkman. It's taken away by Brown, who just clears that one out. We get a throw in from Edgewood. Now well under the 15-minute mark here in the first half. We're still scoreless here in River Forest. And now Burnell with another grab. Going to come out at goal. She prepares to boot it. Denise Carr. That one's taken away by Pajarda. Now Bowers playing a little stingy defense of her own. That's over to Carr, who tries to get it to Alexander. And now Zoe Winter working down the middle of the field, cleared out by Saldivar. Edgewood trying to get into the final third. Haven't had many opportunities in there today. That one is just kicked out of bounds, I believe, by Greta Blau. So we're going to get another touch by Burnell. She is now lined up on the right side of the net. A line drive kick. Header missed by Saldivar. Now Edgewood working backed up. That's taken away by Brown. Tries to get the pass to Gladowski, just out of reach. So we're going to get a throw in from Pajarda. She's bumped out of the way by Bowers. Now Gladowski trying to get it to Calderon. Pajarda working with Denise Carr on her back. That's just sent out of bounds by Winter. Calderon misses the header. Gladowski gets it back to Bowers. Bowers trying to get it to Siebert. Now Fernandez gets it back to Kenworthy. Kenworthy gets it to Siebert, her first touch. That's quickly taken away by Leah Dosette. Alexander lined up against Blau. Opportunity in the final third squandered by the Cougars. Nice defense from the back line. As the shot total is now even for both sides. 3 shots for the Eagles, 1 shot on goal, and for the Cougars, 3 shots, 2 shots on goal. Been a fairly even contest thus far. Get the goal kick from Burnell. Bowers trying to come up with it. That's over to Gladowski, who sends a pass. Trying to get it to Izzy Fairless. And it's just sent out of bounds over to the Cougars side. So the throw in from the Eagles. Saldivar. See Isabel Fairless just coming into the game for Denise Carr. So another substitution made by Coach Garza. Fairless, the freshman out of Royal Oak, Michigan. Now back to Bowers, who gets it to Saldivar. And now Satcherin. That one is just sent over to the track. It's out of bounds. Throw in from Pajarda. That's in. So Calderon is able to push Pajarda out of the way, trying to get it to Brown. That pass behind her. Now Pajarda. And is over to Blau. Good defense by the Cougars once again to not allow much offensive rhythm from Edgewood. As we're now under 10 minutes to play here in the opening half. Blau sent out of bounds. Nice clear out from Hannah Bowers. So the throw in to Pajarda, or by Pajarda, I should say. Now we'll get a couple of more substitutions. as looks like number 5, Megan Wilkinson McQuaid, making her first appearance of the afternoon, as well as number 10, Madeline Loza. Wilkinson McQuaid has started a couple of games for the Cougars. Did not start this one, but she's making her first appearance, as well as Loza. And also we'll get a sub for Edgewood as Jesse Crivello coming in for Maddie Johnson. So Coach Helmer also making a substitution. So the throw in by Leah Dosette. That's into the Eagles, but she's surrounded by a couple of Cougars. Just kick it out of bounds. Edgewood's shot total now up to 5. Ultimately, I think this game is going to come down to who's able to get the most shots off, because we know the Cougars, how good they've been on defense. They've also had their share of struggles on offense coming into today, ranking 13th in the NAC out of 14 teams in goals scored. Only 10 goals scored this season. They rank 12th in the NAC in total shots with 121. 53 of those shots coming in first halves. Again, that was prior to today. So the Cougars struggling on offense, but have been stout defensively. Edgewood's played good defense here this afternoon, and we already mentioned the offensive numbers for them. Edgewood also the most penalized team in the NAC with 166 fouls in total. And now Satrin, the header from Fernandez, goes out of bounds as Dosette trying to track it down. Cougars trying to get back on offense. Saldivar tries to find Seibert. So a throw in from Edgewood. Brown trying to get the ball right back for her team, but Edgewood able to regain control. That's going to be kicked out of bounds, last touch by Edgewood. So throw in from Fernandez. Trying to get it into Brown. Good defense by the Eagles as Kenworthy sends that one straight up into the air. Closest Cougar in the area was Seibert. Now Fernandez gets it on over to Seibert again. That one's taken away by Edgewood. Now Edgewood trying to get into the final third. Burnell is going to come and halt the momentum. Burnell coming out of goal for the kick. And it goes out of bounds. Now under 5 minutes to play. It's in. Eagles. Now Brown just sends it on over to the far side of the pitch. Tracked down by Grace Johnson. Now Fernandez gets it back to Kenworthy. Kenworthy analyzing her options. That's back in the foot of Johnson. Now Saldivar knocks over a player. I believe that was Licky. So Eagles going to stay on offense. They're going to get the free kick conducted by Licky, who was fouled, knocked over by Saldivar, and Burnell is going to end up back in her hands. Burnell sends that one looking for Loza. Loza trying to get it, but sent out of bounds by Satrin. And now Fernandez gets it to Brown in the midfield. That one way out of reach of Fairless. So, going to get a kick from Hartel. Burnell only with one save so far for the Cougars. She used to having a couple more saves in the first half, but it just really speaks to how good that backline Cougars defense has been, allowing Burnell not to have to do as much as she is typically used to doing. Both defenses have been playing very well as we're under 2 minutes to play here in River Forest in the beginning half. As a couple whistles are blown. Looks like Megan Wilkinson McQuaid. Something coming off. It looks like she had a wrap around her leg that might have come off. Going to come over to the sideline to deliver that to the trainers. Time will stop at 1:43. So quick timeout break. Allow both teams to catch their breath for a quick moment. Now it's back in play as the kick from Johnson. And Gladowski trying to track it down for the Cougars, playing tough defense on Satrin. So Burnell going to get another touch. The kick from Burnell, handled by the Eagles, but it's going to be back to Kenworthy, who's way backed up, just boots it out of bounds. Wise decision by the junior. So now Edgewood in the final third. It's Johnson. Header from Gladowski. And now Fairless trying to get it. Ends up in possession of Wilkinson McQuaid, who gets it to Loza. Loza sends a pass to Seibert, who's running down the sidelines, also one of the more speedier players on the Cougars. She had a lot of grass in front of her. She tries to get that to Fairless. It's just kicked straight up into the air. 10 seconds remaining. I think just going to let the clock wind down. And that will be the case. We're heading into the locker room. A really tightly contested defensive affair. We'll go into the locker room at 0-0. Real quick look at the box score. Not a lot of shots up by either side. Only 5 shots from the Eagles, 1 shot on goal. The Cougars, 3 shots, 2 shots on goal. So Cougars winning the shots on goal category respectively here in the first half. So pretty great defense if you're looking for a defensive contest. But we're going to go ahead and head to halftime. We'll be back for more second half action. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network.
Interested in finding out more about Concordia Chicago? Head to cuchicago.edu for more information on our university.
We appreciate you tuning in to today's game and hope to see you at CUC very soon.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
Cougar fans, thanks for tuning in to today's game. For more information about the women's soccer program, head to cucougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces, a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Cougar Nation, we love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank you button below.
This helps us continue to have the best live stream possible for some great Cougar soccer moments. Thank you and enjoy the game.
Hey, I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane.
So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet, so it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall, so the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there.
Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
We appreciate you tuning into today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC women's soccer, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUCWSOC.
We'll see you on campus soon.
And we're back in River Forest as we're getting ready to gear up for the second half. It was a pretty good first half, even though no goals have been scored yet. Really tightly contested defensive affair as we're tied 0-0 here in River Forest. Quick look at the box score real quick before we get underway for the second half. Haley Hartel, the goalkeeper for Edgewood, leading in the saves category with 2 saves, and her counterpart Alani Burnell, only 1 save here this afternoon. And for the shots category, 5 shots by Edgewood, 1 shot on goal, 3 shots for the Cougars, 2 shots on goal. Leading attack on offense led by Addison Alexander, who herself has 2 shots and 2 shots on goal. And the other shot by the Cougars was off the foot of Melika Kenworthy. For Edgewood, Greta Blau with 3 shots. She leads in that category for the Eagles. Marley Satrin also with 2 shots. She has a shot on goal as well. So those are the leading offensive players from both teams respectively, as both sides still on their benches talking with their coaches, making any adjustments needed for the second half. You saw that, that Coach Garza likes to make his substitutions. We saw that in that first half, didn't make any substitutions throughout the first 15 minutes of play, but as the half progressed, we saw 6 new faces come into the game. Lots of substitutions made for the Eagles, as well as they made 1 less substitution with 5. As the horn blows, signaling the start of the second half, both teams have yet to come out onto the field. But the key to victory for Cougars is, we know that they've been good on defense, but it's going to be, will they be able to generate some offense? And really, that is going to be the key to victory for both sides. Both sides have been playing great defensively. That hasn't been the issue, but those opportunities, those chances in the final third, and those chances for shots have been few and far between. There have been a total of 8 shots divided between both teams. Also, Edgewood had those 2 early corner kicks in the first half. Only 1 corner kick for the Cougars, which came about midway through that beginning half. As the Cougars are the first team out on the field, huddled up on the 30-yard line. Eagles still off to the sideline just a little bit. They're also huddled as well. As we gear up for the second half, real quick, let's give a little history lesson between both teams. So all-time, the Cougars have a record of 4-14 all-time versus Edgewood, a home record of 2-6. Last time these 2 teams met, they were at Edgewood College a year ago, September 17th, 2022. The Cougars fell 4-0 against Edgewood College. So Cougars looking to flip the script here this afternoon. We're still scoreless, so still looking for that first goal of the afternoon. Both sides ready and in formation. The Cougars will conduct the opening kickoff of the second half due to Itzel Calderon, who's getting the second half start. She gets it back to Pamela Saldivar. So Coach Garza going with a different lineup than the group that started in the first half. And now Denise Carr. She tries to get it to Moran Cruz, but now Edgewood back in possession. The Eagles with a little bit of steam. Nice defensive play by Alexander. It was one of the better players for the Cougars in the first half. We mentioned the 2 shots and 2 shots on goal by her. The freshman got the start as well in the first half. Now the Eagles trying to go down the length of the pitch if they can get past that Cougar defense. And now Blau just going to kick it straight back to Daniela Reyes. Or excuse me, that is Leah Dosette. Good defense by the Cougars as that's cleared out. So we're going to get the throw in by Dosette. That's handled by Blau. But Burnell going to come out of goal, get the stop. Burnell sends out one deep, looking for Carr. Tries to get a handle on it. And now Brown. Brown trying to get it back to Saldivar, who kind of backed up into the sideline. Calderon. Looks like she might have gotten pushed in the back by Zoe Winter. And now we're going to get a free kick by Saldivar. Saldivar hand in the air, approaches, kicks it into the cluster of players. Now Alexander trying to make something happen for the Cougars. They're definitely in a prime position to do something, but goes out of bounds, so Edgewood going to get the stop. Now a throw in by Pajarda. That's into Blau. And now Saldivar gets it over to Moran Cruz, trying to find Gladowski on the far sideline. Gets it back to Bowers. Bowers is going to attempt a deep shot. That one looked like it might have had a chance, but just misses the left side of the goal. This deep shot by Bowers. Wasn't afraid to pull the trigger on that one as we get a goal kick from Hartel. Now Brown trying to get it back to Moran Cruz. That's handled by Alexander. Has it taken away. A lot of green grass in front of her as that's Blau. That's deflected off the leg of Kenworthy. Good defense by her as Blau had a full head of steam just going down the length of the pitch. A shot right there. That was number 21, Maddie Johnson. Just misses the right of the goal. So Burnell sends out one looking for Moran Cruz. Whistle's blown. Looks like we're going to get a foul. Believe that is on Moran Cruz. So the free kick will be conducted by Johnson. Johnson just sends that one. Touched by Saldivar. And now Calderon trying to block that pass. Gladowski now faced up against Satrin. And now Burnell. I believe that'll count as a save. She's just going to chuck that one in the direction of Carr. Now Bowers trying to take it away from Licky. Burnell going to come out of goal to kick this one away. It's handled by Edgewood. Header by Saldivar. It's over to Brown. Both sides just trying to get a handle on it, not able to. So we're going to get a throw in by the Cougars and Gladowski. Miron Cruz trying to get to it. Now back in possession of Edgewood before it goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Eagles. Throw in from Gladowski. Both teams just kind of flying around at this stage in the game, trying to get the ball. Both sides not giving each other a lot of breathing room, as that one's going to go out of bounds. Trying to track it down was Dosset. So we're going to get a corner kick by the Cougars, their second corner kick of the afternoon. It'll be Pamela Saldivar. Saldivar backs up all the way onto the track, hand in the air, approaches. Now Miron Cruz trying to get it over to Carr. Carr has to backtrack a little bit. Now Carr trying to get it to one of her teammates. Not exactly sure where that pass was intended, but Hartel are going to get another touch. The keeper for the Eagles. Temperature's gone down a little bit, couple of degrees. The sun not shining as bright as it was in the first half. Getting a little cooler here in River Forest. Now Alexander playing defense on Blau. That one's blocked by Bowers. Eagles trying to make something happen. Whistle's blown. Cougars going to go right back on offense as Burnell. Burnell approaches. Line drive kick. Goes out of bounds onto the Cougar sideline. Alexander trying to get to it. Now the header from Fernandez. Kenworthy is able to track it down. Again, just decides to dump it out of bounds. Now Carr with a little bit of momentum ends up on the foot of Johnson. Going to go out of bounds, so looks like we're going to get a free kick from Kenworthy. Kenworthy trying to get that one to Brown, who was an accurate pass. Now Licky takes a tumble. Looks like she might have been knocked down by Kenworthy. And now Fernandez gets it to Carr. She's surrounded by 3 Eagles. Eagles trying to get into that final third, but again, the Cougars defense just making life difficult as Calderon falls down trying to get the ball away from Winter. Now Reese Mazzaros. That shot right into the hands of Burnell. didn't have to move her feet, but records her second save of the afternoon. Now all the way back are the Eagles. Fernandez trying to take it away. Kenworthy. Again, a high arcing kick out of bounds. Alexander trying to get to it. Carr as well. Now Fernandez will conduct the throw in. So we're going to get a substitution as Juliana Paulson comes into the game for Itzel Calderon. Saw Paulson was a starter in the first half, did not get the second half start, but comes in about 12 minutes into the second half. And now a deep shot by the Eagles goes over the goal. Oh, it was a line drive kick. Header from Bowers back to Saldivar. Maron Cruz. She's been well covered by the Eagles pretty much all game. Now Brown gets it back. I believe that is Gladowski. Now a throw in from number 8 and White. Gets it to Paulson, who gets her first touch of the second half. That's knocked out of bounds. I believe that was Dosette who was on her. So the throw in, Gladowski trying to get it into Brown, who has Kalsher right on her back. Not allowing her to get out of that corner. Suffocating defense by the Eagles. They had Brown trapped in the corner. So Hartel going to get another touch. Hartel boots that one in the direction of Satrin. Kenworthy, again, just punts it over to the Cougar sideline. Now Kalsher gets it over to Mazzaros. It's taken away by Alexander. Brown trying to track it down is Maron Cruz, but that was last touched by Johnson. And now Kenworthy kicks it right into the foot of Johnson. Saldivar, the header, bounces right off of Blau. The Eagles now Fernandez able to track it down, gets it to Carr, who's almost tripped up by Reese Mazzaros. Whistles blow as we are under 30 minutes. We're going to get a free kick by Kenworthy. trying to get that to Carr. Now the Eagles, it's Licky. And in that final third of the Cougars, Licky with Fernandez on her, gets it back out. Now Mazzaros. Fernandez, good defense by Fernandez, able to take that one away, just get it out of bounds, get the clear out. But we're going to get the throw in from Maraha Pajarda. But we're going to get a couple substitutions. First for the Cougars into the game in number 13, Lucia Falone. She'll relieve number 9, Pamela Saldivar. Also going to get a couple of substitutions for the Eagles. I'll get you those here in a second as play resumes here in River Forest. Maron Cruz gets it to Fernandez. Maron Cruz missing the header. So the substitutions made for the Eagles, number 23, Kayla Kirkman, and number 26, Tierney Herman, both of which came off of the bench in the first half, got a decent amount of minutes, now making their way back into the match for some second half action. Now it's back out Winter. Gets it to Licky, who's standing in the midfield, has 4 Cougars surrounding her, is able to get the pass off to Marley Satrin. We're going to get a corner kick by the Eagles. Number 21, Maddie Johnson, making her way over to the far left corner. Be the third corner kick for the Eagles. Another opportunity for them. Nice job by the Cougars just clearing it out. I believe that was cleared out by Lucia Falone, who just entered into the game for Saldivar. And now Brown tries to get the pass to Paulson. The speedster on the loose. That's taken away by Johnson. The Eagles just trying to create some opportunities as they're now in the double digits. Into shots, they have 11, 3 of which have been shots on goal. The Cougars still sitting at 3 shots and 2 shots on goal. That number has not gone up since halftime, since we were heading into halftime, I should say. That's taken away by Bowers, who tries to get it up the field to Paulson, just a pass way out of reach. And it's going to roll all the way over to the other side of the track. So the Eagles going to go on offense as we're now under 25 minutes left to play in the match. We're going to get one more substitution made by Coach Garza as number 7, Jamie Seibert, come into the game. She will replace, I believe that's Luciana Moran Cruz. Now Paulson tried to get it to Lucia Falone. Now Alexander tries to get it to Seibert, just way out of reach. Seibert was streaking down the near side of the field, just not able to get to it, as the pass was just way out of the area. So Hartel, the goal kick, touched by Falone. Now the header from Blau. Kenworthy trying to corral it, but back in the feet of Blau. Blau, that shot deflected off of Fernandez. And now Satrin back to Kenworthy, who gets it to Carr. But Carr just bumps Pajarda out of the way. Kenworthy fighting for the ball against Pajarda. And now she gets a little extra help from Bowers, who just boots it out of bounds and over the Cougar bench. So Edgewood trying to create some more opportunities. They've done a good job of doing so here in this half. They have attempted 8 shots, which is 5 more. And that shot right into the hands of Brunel. So they've now attempted 14 shots. They only attempted 5 in that first half. So 9 more shots in this half for the Eagles. Have 4 shots on goal in the second half alone. Only had 1 in the first half. So the Eagles doing a much better job of creating those offensive opportunities. Second half has been stagnant for the Cougars. No shots have been put up yet. That is due to, again, stingy defense by the Eagles. Haven't had many opportunities in the final third. Saw the Cougars did have a corner kick, just were not able to get anything off of that opportunity. Now Denise Carr. That shot right past the goal on the right side. So that is the first shot of the second half for the Cougars. It comes at that 21-15 mark here in the last half. I should say the 68th minute. Now Lucia Falone. Back to Brown. Brown running down the far sideline. Has Maddie Johnson just draped on her back. So we're going to get the throw in from Gladowski. Trying to get it to either Allie Brown or Lucia Falone. But Hartel going to get the Eagles back on offense. Hartel lines up for a goal kick on the right side of the goal. A low kick ends up in the feet of Lucia Falone. Taken away by the Eagles. And now the Eagles, an opportunity, completely switch sides of the field. That pass is off. Just like that, the Eagles in that final third. That shot hits the upright or the crossbar of the field goal post. It's an exciting sequence of event for the Eagles as they marched right down the length of the pitch, got the shot off, but it just hits the crossbar. Does not count as a shot on goal, but that'll be the 15th shot by the Eagles in total. We see that so far this year, the Cougars have allowed 161 total shots in second halves this year. We see that the Eagles are really starting to find their rhythm. If the Cougars keep allowing these kinds of opportunities, they have to be careful, as we're going to get a quick substitution. Itzel Calderon back into the game. She'll relieve Denise Carr. Also get a substitution by Edgewood as Jesse Crivello in for Cami Licky. So both coaches making some substitutions under 20 minutes to play here in River Forest. And now Brown misses the header, but Falone trying to get to it. Kenworthy. Back to Brown. Has Herman on her back. That one's just sent out of bounds. Cougars going to stay on offense. Now Paulson, it's going to go out of bounds, so Cougars going to stay on offense. So we're going to get a throw-in from Gladowski. Trying to get it into Brown. Still no goals have been scored here in River Forest. If you're a fan of defense, you're loving this game between the two conference opponents in the Eagles and Cougars. It's Hartel going to come out of goal as she prepares to boot this one to her team. Alexander. Nice play guarded by Tierney Herman. Now Paulson. That pass not in the general vicinity of the Cougars, but Seibert. And now Fernandez. That's handled by Satrin. We're going to get a throw in from Fernandez as she tries to get it to Jamie Seibert. Last touch by Valeria Fernandez, so Zoe Winter will conduct the throw-in for Edgewood. And we're going to get another substitution. This time it's by Edgewood, as number 22, Stephanie Kalsher, will enter into the game for Tierney Herman. Kalsher, a starter in the first half. And now Alexander trying to get to it. She's able to get it away. Calderon not able to get to it. So we're going to get another throw in by Winter as we're approaching the 15-minute mark. Kenworthy trying to track it down. Blau. Nice defense by the back line. Allie Brown, Hannah Bowers, and Melika Kenworthy. Or excuse me, Gladowski. And now Blau trying to dribble in and out of defenders. More good defense by the Cougars as Falone going to get the clear out. They have made it's so hard for that Edgewood offense. Yes, Edgewood has been able to get more shots off, but the Cougars just doing a great job of limiting those opportunities and allowing nothing to go. Blau deciding what to do, gets it to Kalsher. Good defense by Calderon. Really good defensive play by the senior from Oak Lawn, Illinois. Now Calderon down on the turf. She is back up on her feet. A good sign if you're the Cougars. Now running on her own. Shot total for Edgewood now up to 16. Definitely, the Eagles have had more opportunities in the second half than they did in the first, but Cougars doing a good job not allowing anything to go through the back of the net. The same can be said about Edgewood's defense, as we are still scoreless here in River Forest. The new rule changes. There's no overtime in collegiate soccer, so if these two teams tie, it'll go down as the third tie for the Cougars. It'll be the fourth tie by Edgewood, but still some time left here in the second half. Don't want to speak too soon. The throw in from Edgewood. And now Brown has it in the midfield. That's taken away. That was Satrin. And now Fernandez. A little bit of grass in front of her. Blocked by Kalsher. And now Kenworthy will conduct yet another free kick for CUC. Now Kenworthy tries to get that one to Paulson. Now another touch for Haley Hartel. Edgewood has fouled 10 times in this game. Again, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Edgewood is the most penalized team in the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference with 166 coming into today's game. They already have 10. In this game, the Cougars haven't fouled as much, only have 5. So Burnell going to come out of goal, picks up the ball, gets her team set. High arcing kick. Trying to get it is Seibert. And now Kenworthy. We're going to get a throw in by Winter. That's into Satrin, who's being guarded by Falone. Now under 10 minutes to play. Another throw in from Winter. Looks in the direction of Blau, but she was guarded by Seibert and Fernandez. Fernandez just sends it back to Kenworthy. Kenworthy, a deep kick, clears it out. Eagles now in the middle third. That's sent over to Kirkman. Brunel going to come out of goal, picks up the ball once again. Boots it deep. Cluster of Eagles surround the ball. Brown able to come out with it. Alperharda, I think she's just going to let this one roll out of bounds. So now we're going to get 4 substitutions made by Coach Garza. Some late substitutions. No, Denise Carr comes back into the game. Madeline Loza, Luciana Moran Cruz. And for the first time today, we're going to see number 23, Julissa Diaz, the junior out of Chicago, Illinois. No, she started a few games this year for the Cougars. She makes her first appearance here today against Edgewood. Now Gladowski tries to track it down. And now Edgewood with a little bit of momentum. They're coming down the field, taken away as Brown bumps her out of the way. And the Cougars bench up on their feet as the team has just played solid defense all afternoon. We knew the Cougars were a good defensive team. It was the offense that was going to be in question. As they try to make something happen here late to propel them over the Eagles. So a foul is awarded to Pajarda. Now they're going to give the free kick to Madeline Loza, but that is conducted by a different player. And now Bowers takes a tumble. Blau, lots of green grass to work with. She's stopped by Alexander, trying to get it to Dosette. Being guarded by Gladowski. Gladowski just playing head up on her. Burnell, the goalkeeper for the Cougars, having to do a lot more work here in the second half. We saw she only had 1 save in that first half. Her save total now up to 5, so she's hauled in 4 saves here in the second half. Haley Hartel has not had a save in the second half. She still remains with 2. Also going to get a substitution by Edgewood as Kami Licky coming in for Jessie Crivello. And we're going to get a corner kick from Edgewood, their 4th corner kick here in this game. The shot, that's blocked. Shot was conducted by Licky, so the Cougars squander another opportunity. And let's see what CUC has dialed up. As Reese Mezzaros makes her way back out onto the field for Edgewood College. And now Alexander gets it over to Denise Carr. Now Brown. Hartel going to get another touch. Header from Satrin. Mazzaros comes over. We're going to get a throw in from Jalissa Diaz. Now Kenworthy going to clear that one out. Tries to get it to Fernandez. Intercepted by Dosette. And Fernandez very blatantly upset. She thought she was fouled by Dosette. On-field officials not calling anything, and you could tell Fernandez not happy with the call. Or with the no call, I should say. Now Diaz, she's able to get to it. Diaz in the midfield, gets it over to Denise Carr, who's on her left. Loza not able to get to it, so Hartel going to get another touch. Denise Carr takes it away from Mazzaros. Diaz looking for Moran Cruz. Now back in the foot of Carr, who's tripped up. Now Moran Cruz gets it over to Gladowski. Just dribbles or bounces past the goal on the right side. So Hartel stationed on the right side of the goal. She approaches the ball. Line drive kick, header by Brown. Kenworthy gets it back to Bowers. Fernandez. We are now at the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes remaining in the second half. As the throw in from Fernandez is into Loza. So we're going to get a throw in from Edgewood. It's into Licky. Throw in from Gladowski. Very fast-paced, high tempo here in the late stage of competition. Denise Carr tries to get it, but it's taken away by Winter. And now Mazzaros. Alexander in the midfield. Now Edgewood with the full head of steam. She's tripped up by Brown. Brown a little slow to get up. I believe she tripped up Maddie Johnson. 30 seconds remaining. Header from Moran Cruz. Hard fall by Bowers, who's still down on the turf. And time going to run out, so defensive affair is going to end in a 0-0 draw. Excuse me, that's not Bowers who's down. Looks like it is Valeria Fernandez who is a little slow to get up, but she's helped up by a trainer. She's also checked up on by Haley Hartel, the goalkeeper for Edgewood, so good sportsmanship by them. So 0-0 draw, and with that, the Cougars are going to move to 4-10-3, their third draw of the season. And for Edgewood, they'll move to 8-6-4, their fourth draw of the season. Real quick look at the box score. 18 shots by Edgewood, 13 of which came in the second half, and you would have thought by looking at the box score that they would have been able to get a couple goals, but you got to give all the credit in the world to the Cougars defense. And for the Cougars, only 4 shots, 2 shots on goal. So not a lot of offense from the Cougars. Real quick, we're going to take a look ahead for Edgewood. They are going to go back on the road as they travel to Marian University on Saturday. Kickoff set for 2 p.m. for the Cougars. Their game at Alverno College was canceled due to a forfeit, so that's going to count as a win for the Cougars, 1-0. They have one more game remaining in the regular season as they travel to Dominican University for the Division Street rivalry. That'll take place next Wednesday. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. Real quick, want to give a shout out to our staff that was able to make this broadcast possible. On our camera, Jawan Woodley, our producer Sydney Lloyd. Down on the scorer's table was Amaya Martin, and our public address announcer Peter Borkowski. We are under the direction of Sydney Pulaski-Slaher and our sports information director Kayla McLeod. As for me, Parker Kelly, signing off the Cougar Sports Network. Want to wish you all a great rest of the day, great rest of your week, and wanted to say, as always, go Cougars!
Tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.